Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 701. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up?
All right, so what do we got?
Okay, so quickly from the last one, there was this article about Wolverine 3. There have been some set pictures that show basically Old Man Logan and a very, very old Professor Xavier.
What's up, Scott?
Nah.
Which is interesting. I think that these look pretty cool. I think Hugh Jackman looks great as Old Man Logan. So I'm excited for it. Hopefully this is the X-Men Wolverine movie that everyone's been waiting for.
Now, originally they said it was going to be Old Man Logan. Then they said they're going to call it Weapon X.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any clarity if it's going to be a mixture of both, or is it going to be something maybe called Old Man Logan briefly based on it, but I don't think it's like fully.
I think it's probably going to be called Weapon X, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Send Hugh out on an up note.
And the guy that's the villain, is he playing Mr. Sinister?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question.
Because, well, let me, who was in the new Wolverine movie? Do you have the list of,
No, I don't.
Alright, let me just see.
I know they changed the name for Spidey, so that's an up note.
Let me just say something. Let's see. Okay, so Richard E. Grant, yeah. Richard E. Grant, they said, may play Mr. Sinister. We don't know yet.
Okay.
See?
Which, if he does, would he be in the X-Men movie as well? That would be interesting.
Yeah.
So
Maybe they introduce an older version of himself in this one, and then we see a younger version in the next X-Men movie.
could be. I mean, it's supposed to be released early 2017, so March 2nd. So that's interesting. And X-23, I thought they were going to introduce into X-Men, but I guess they'll have him in Wolverine first, and then they're going to. But see, that girl, I don't think that girl is X-23 because she's very young.
Yeah.
She reminds me of that thing with the cyborg Wolverine robot.
Oh,
Marvel Comics presents.
Elsie or Elsie-Dee.
Right, Elsie-Dee. She was a robot too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that reminds me of, Elsie-Dee. And what was the robot Wolverine that was?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what that reminds me of. To tell you the truth. Let me look that up.
Yeah, because I know one of the Wolverine games or X-Men games they had her in it along with him.
The Elsie-Dee. That's. You know, I'm gonna get a screen share. This. Hold on. If I can. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, so I don't think that she may be that young girl. She could be Elsie-Dee. She could be the one from the X-Men, the Wolverine comics, where she's a robot, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And she's also Albert, right? Albert is the mechanical Wolverine robot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, that's what it could be. It could be this, the Wolverine robot and Elsie-Dee. That's what I think.
That would have been good to see. She would have been great to see in this last Wolverine video game, which was based on the movie in Origins. That would have been interesting to see her.
Yeah, she just. That's what I think it is, honestly.
That's the only way they could do it.
Didn't she get destroyed in the Wolverine comic? Or no?
I gotta go back and
I don't remember.
But still.
She didn't kill a construct, right? I mean, she just... Yeah, so that's why I don't think it's X-23. I think it's
LC.
LCD. Yeah, I'm gonna call it that. Because it wouldn't make sense for her to be that young. I mean, the X-23, she looks like a woman. I think it's LCD and Albert. So, all right. Getting off the Wolverine 3, we have some Star Wars stuff, right? And Indiana Jones.
Now I want to preface this too. The first article I'm doing is not a big deal. It's just something about John Williams doing the score for Episode 8 and Indiana Jones 5. The second article could be a huge potential spoiler for Episode 8.
Well, first of all, John Williams doing the score.
Yes.
That's a huge deal because
John Williams can do.
You don't want anybody doing the score. I mean, of Star Wars. So if he finishes
Indiana Jones 5 as well.
So if he does Episode 8 and Episode 9, I'll feel okay. I'll feel better. I don't really want anybody else doing it. So okay, what else?
I didn't mean that it wasn't a big deal. Yeah. Like a spoiler. But this next part, so I don't know, Scott, if you don't want to hear it or if you're okay with it. All right, so I'm going to give guys, you got 5 seconds to turn it off. 5,
spoilers for Episode
3, 2, 1, and put this in the title as well, that they're spoilers.
Yeah.
So Star Wars News Net, which is a very, very credible site. There's 2 very credible sites that whenever news comes from them for Star Wars, it's usually right, and it's usually very accurate. And this is one of them, Star Wars News Net. The other one is Making Star Wars. Star Wars News Net has an article that was posted a couple of days ago about a potential reveal or not reveal, but a potential part of Episode 8 that involves Rey and Leia. This is basically what they said, and they said, again, take this with a grain of salt for now, but I believe this is probably correct because I've heard rumors of this, and this sounds like what I've heard rumors of. First of all, this is the article, quote, "First of all, Luke is not Rey's father. If you really can't let go of this, watch Episode 7 again and pay attention. He is not revealed to be her father in Episode 8, not will he be in Episode 9. The second and more exciting one is that Leia uses the Force in Episode 8. It's unfortunately true that they've minimized her screen time by writing her out after an attack early on. But the really cool thing about the sequence is that Leia survives only because she uses the Force. That's all the detail you're getting, but it's a fact. I appreciate the need for evidence, but come next year, you'll know that this is correct." Now, I have heard prior to this was a couple months ago, that they filmed a scene where Leia is injured and she's taken out of the movie. There is a scene where, what's her name, Lena Dunham, or Laura Dern, excuse me. Her character takes over command for Leia, and there's a scene apparently that her and Poe Dameron are arguing about what they should do, with the First Order apparently about to attack. I really believe that this is true. I was going to say I'm starting to believe this is true, but I believe that what they are reporting is probably true. Because I don't think they want Leia in this a lot. I think, like I said, they're going to focus on the new characters, and I think Luke is probably going to be the big old character that takes them through Episode 8. The fact that they're saying also that Rey is not his daughter, again, is something that I've believed for a while. I don't think that she's related to him at all. I don't think she's a Skywalker. And this is just more evidence for me for that.
And even if she's more powerful than Kylo Ren, that doesn't mean that she has to be a Skywalker, correct?
No.
Not at all.
I mean, there could be other people that are better at the Force. It doesn't have to be the Skywalker name.
Right.
I mean, and there could be, so that's, even Kylo Ren, if he had a kid, the kid could be more powerful.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, maybe it's, skips a generation or whatever, like being the most powerful. So.
And personally, I also think, too, we're going to see, probably in 8, we're going to see Ren at not only as, because in Episode 7, when he fought Rey, he wasn't at his full power. I think we're going to see probably an even more powerful Kylo Ren in Episode 8
Right.
And he's gonna be. He might be too much for Rey to handle.
Now, question is though, could it just be that she? I mean, does it have to be that the family are Force users in order for her to be a Force user? Couldn't it just
No.
be? It has to be.
No. No,
Couldn't
you're
it
right.
just be somebody just
Yeah.
has the Force and good with the Force for some
Yes.
weird reason. It doesn't have to be reincarnation. It doesn't have to be any of that stuff. It's just like people, because it wasn't always like when it was the first Jedi. It was like none of their parents had Force powers, so it's like,
Yes.
I mean, you could just become it. Now, another question: could it be possible that Finn could be good with the Force, like a late bloomer?
It's possible. I don't think they're gonna do that though.
Okay.
I highly doubt, and I hope that they don't. I hope that, because there's also rumors that Poe Dameron can use the Force as well. I really hope that Rey, or excuse me, I hope that Finn and Poe Dameron remain non-Force sensitives, because I think there's an importance of having a non-Force sensitive character or characters show that they are just as important as Force sensitive characters, like Han Solo. No,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
no, that's it.
But I would like it if Poe Dameron used the Force, because it would explain how, I mean, all right, he broke Poe Dameron down, but I don't know. It would be cooler to have somebody else have
Well,
Force powers.
I think we could potentially run into another character that has Force powers. What's interesting now is, of course, when you look to the comic books now, which are canon, Poe Dameron's mother helped Luke Skywalker recover 2 Force trees, which are literally what they do. It's just what they sound like. They're trees that are connected to the Force. And Luke gave Poe's mother one of these trees, and she had it growing outside of her home with her husband, and when she gave birth to Poe Dameron. Is it possible that that trees maybe influenced him to have the Force? Sure. Do I think that's what happened? I'd be surprised, but I really don't think Poe or Finn has the Force. I don't think that they're connected to the Force directly, like Force sensitive is.
Right. Okay. Are we going to see anything about Boba Fett, or anybody took his armor, or
Somebody did take his armor. That's actually confirmed in the novel Aftermath. There's a scene where one of these guys, one of these new characters, buys Boba Fett's armor, and they don't directly say it's Boba Fett's armor, but they say that it's been acid covered. So they're referencing the Sarlacc pit there, basically, and we know Boba Fett escaped. Disney confirmed Boba Fett escaped. So I think somebody else may have his armor. What I would really like to see is maybe someone pretending to be Boba Fett. That like take the mantle of Boba Fett. Something like that maybe.
And now, being that Boba Fett is a clone of Jango Fett, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's what we're led to believe.
He is, definitely. It's confirmed.
Then wouldn't he, not age? Couldn't they control that where he just doesn't age? And that could explain why he's still the same age in these movies, possibly?
Yeah, it's interesting because the clones that are normal clones actually age faster than a normal human because of growth acceleration. They explain that in Rebels, which is canon. The clones there, Captain Rex and his crew, they age faster. However, Boba Fett was not given age enhancement,
right,
or age acceleration, so he would age like a normal human. But it is possible. You're right. It is possible that they may have found a way to age him slower, possibly when he hits a certain age, maybe, or something. I don't think they're going to do something like that because technically the actor who would play him is actually an okay age right now. I think he could do it, but I don't think we're going to see Boba Fett in these movies. I think we might see someone, like I said, maybe pretending to be Boba Fett, or maybe we'll see a new bounty hunter. Personally, I don't think we need Boba Fett anymore. I think Captain Phasma could kind of take that role.
Well, judging by the way they messed her up in the first one, she's not really people more liked the traitor guy,
Yeah.
Stormtrooper, than Captain Phasma. So I think that is totally out of the question of her replacing Boba Fett.
Well, we know she's definitely an 8.
Yeah,
And we know Kathleen Kennedy, who's in charge of Star Wars there, said that she's got a bigger part in 8.
well, I would hope so, because it didn't,
Yeah.
Didn't really take it to effect.
It was just.
I think Abrams said he made a few mistakes, and obviously that's one, and Chewbacca not consoling like Leia was another big miss. So we'll see. The episode 8 is done, right? Filming?
It's close. Ryan Johnson said that they're close to finishing, which is good because that means if they finish soon, they'll have the rest of this year and pretty much all of next year to do post-production stuff, which means they could fine-tune this to be really, really good.
And when do they start filming 9? I mean, I know they give them a break, but, I mean...
I think they're filming it soon after 8, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, because I think they want to get them in before they get too big and then they do other movies.
Yeah, because, I mean, when you really think about it, I mean, obviously they have the director and Colin Trevorrow for 9.
Right.
When they finish 9, those are the big things done.
Yeah.
And they're going to do the anthology films, most likely. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe in a couple of years after 9, we hear, hey guys, 10, 11, 12.
Well, that's what I mean...
Yeah, I agree.
From the original plans when it was purchased by Disney, they said that there was going to be a 10, 11, and 12, and then they pulled it. And it was up for like hours, and then it was down. So that was always if you're going to spend $4 billion, $700 million or whatever it is to purchase Star Wars, you're not going to just do 3 movies and then you're done and do an anthology.
Right.
No. And I told my son this, my kids, both my sons, I told them that don't be too surprised if when you're taking your kids to the movies, there's going to be Star Wars movies, and I'm probably going to tag along. So Disney's going to do this forever while there's an Earth. I mean, that's the whole point. It'd be 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I have no problem with it continuing, like, to who knows when, I'll be watching in whatever age I am. So
each generation has its own version of 6, so...
Right, and Marvel... with Disney, they could do Phase 4, Phase 5, and then they could reboot the whole thing. I mean, who knows? So it never really ends with that. So it always gets interesting because there's so much stuff that they could choose from with stories. So it doesn't, they could always do anything. They could do a Yoda movie, or they could do, I always think there's always going to be a Star Wars movie. And you got to think of you like, oh, no, that's crazy. No, well, look at every franchise there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. It is still going on. Like everything is really still going on. I mean, whether it be rebooted or remastered or whatever. I mean, the X-Men did the most innovative thing where it's not really a reboot because it's part of continue. It's like they worked it out where it's like set and it works. So that's the most ingenious way to do it, and they're successful. So, X-Men 7 all the way. And that's like, basically it. So, John Williams, I would feel very uncomfortable if he wasn't doing it.
Yeah. Because whenever I think of either Superman or Star Wars, he's the first person I always.
And unfortunately, there's going to come a time where he's not doing it, and it's not going to be as good. Because without the music, that's a big part of Star Wars and Indiana Jones and but Jurassic Park, right? And like most of that stuff. So, just saying. I mean, I'm curious how they're going to do Indiana Jones. Being that he's that age, like what are they going to think about doing? But
I'm not sure that I don't know. He might not be doing Episode 9, actually.
Who?
John Williams.
I mean, that's kind of far. I mean, I would think that he would finish it out that he did Episode 9. I would think. Honestly.
Yeah.
But then again, how old is he?
He's 84.
Okay, so, I mean, Who knows? He could let him live to be hundreds. I mean, whatever. It's it's like God willing.
Yeah, I mean, if he can, I think he'll do 9, and I think 9 will be his last one. Because I think then he'll probably say, okay, I've done enough now, and I think that maybe it would be kind of symbolic in a way, because if and when they do 10, 11, and 12, I don't think Luke, Leia, and obviously Han won't be in it. Luke and Leia won't be in it either. I think all those characters will probably be gone, and it will be all new characters, save for C-3PO.
It might not even be right. It might not even be Kylo Ren or whatever. They could be just start off fresh.
It could, yeah, they could.
And even though it's like a long time ago in a galaxy far away, and it's like 100, 200 years later, it's still a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Personally, I do believe that 10, 11, and 12 will have to do with Rey and Kylo Ren. I think we'll see them older and it may be different. Maybe Ren won't be there. I don't know. I think Rey will definitely be there, and I think she'll probably be with a new group of Jedi and whatnot. But I think Mark Hamill could return. He could always be a Force ghost. You know what I'm saying? Luke could be a Force ghost.
So we agreed that they're going to kill him off, obviously.
I think yes. I think Luke is going to die in Episode 8. I really do.
Right.
Because I think Episode 9 is going to be.
So you think Leia will live tonight?
I think what's going to happen is Leia's going to get, like this report says, and like I've heard, I think she's going to be at the beginning of 8. She's going to get taken out early. She's going to survive. Luke is going to die. Something bad is going to happen to Rey. The First Order is going to be on top for a little while. And then what I think is going to happen is Episode 9, it's going to be like the new characters have nobody to turn to. And they're going to say, well, we can do this ourselves. We can save the galaxy ourselves, and eventually they do. Whether or not that means Ren turns back to the light, I think he's going to. But if not, they can still make it work. I don't know. They can go in a lot of directions. I'm still an advocate. I would love. I mean, they're not going to do this. I know they're not going to do it, but right. I would love for them to do a double turn and have Ren turn to the light and Rey turn to the dark, and then at the end they both turn back, or Rey turns back to the light. But are they going to do that? No, because Rey is their golden child, and they want to keep her, which isn't a bad thing. She's a great character. They want to keep her as good as they can, I think.
Right. Okay. Scott, anything?
Not up from here.
All right. Anything else do we have, Chris? That's it.
I think that's pretty much it.
Good talk. All right, guys. So we'll see you Tuesday. Take care. Bye for now.
Ciao.